Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Leaf with the Legends podcast. Today, I got a Milwaukee legend. He done shot music videos for people like Lil Wayne,
Mm,
T.I., Trae Tha Truth,
come
Snoop
on.
Dogg, Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar, J. Cole. I can keep going, but I'm going to stop there. Man, but his videos have over 500 million views. Man, I'm here with my boy, Philly Flyboy, man, music video director and now film director. Thanks for pulling up to
Come
the
on.
pod.
Man, I appreciate it. You already know anytime I can talk, not only just, in general, I love talking, but when I can talk to the hometown, talk to the people, it's always a blessing.
Man, facts, facts. And man, we go back, man. I was looking through some old pictures and it was a picture of when you guys shot for Kendrick Lamar. And it was you,
Yeah.
Chaz, and Kendrick, and y'all both was rock. Well, you and Chaz were both rocking some Yes gear. So, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we go back.
Yeah, we got the fresh pack. I remember for that, Chaz had it on and I was salty because I'm like, bro, I ain't like, what's up? And he's like, oh, let me hit him up. And I was like, damn, I couldn't even give me a shirt, and then y'all took care of him.
Took care. We had to. We had to. All right. So let's take it back, man. So early on, like, how did you develop like such a love and interest for music?
I mean, just obviously from the consumer standpoint, it was always like in my life. It was one of those things where I remember back in grade school getting in a lot of trouble for listening to, I had like Doggy Style and Death Row's Greatest Hits. I remember I had got Ghetto Dope Masterpiece stole out my locker like 4 times. I remember being with the disc man, the joint that got the 10-second
Yeah,
skip
the
joint
skip
on it
joint. Oh yeah.
on the bus, and the bus going crazy. And I had I'd hold it in the air and try to keep it stable so that bitch wouldn't skip. Can I swear on here?
Yeah. Go ahead. We
Okay,
good.
I don't swear a lot, but I'm saying
We
sometimes
good.
I throw a little
All right.
oregano in there.
For emphasis.
Yeah, but I'm saying so. I mean, I was always like a big consumer of it, and then I was always into like some form of art, right? So it was either like for me, it was a photography, and then my father's actually a graphic designer. So that's kind of where I was like, I always like to just dabble, see what I like, and I'd just be on my pop's computer when he wasn't, working on it because his company had a computer for him. So we were fortunate enough to have a computer at the house, which back in the day, now it's like that sounds crazy to people. Like, what do you mean to have a computer? It was a big deal back then, and because of my pop's job, that his company had gave him a computer for when he could work at home. And I remember just hopping on Photoshop and just trying to really it was recreation, just like any art. You just basically look at things. I loved all the like, man, like the Cash Money, and then the Master P covers,
Yep.
bruh. And I mean, what's crazy now is all that stuff's coming back. You see the T-shirts with like the Master P style covers, right?
Yep.
That was like, I remember when you saw like Master P in like a digital, what I'm saying, mansion with like everything's made out of platinum gold, and like there's like girls floating from the ceiling and fire explosions going off. Like I couldn't, that was everything. So that was really where I started getting into the art side of music, is really just trying to recreate those kind of covers. And then it went into, hustle man mode. So for me, I was right around when like Napster came. So anyone that's too young to know what Napster is, it was basically when the music industry crashed because illegal downloading was a thing. So I think we're past the 7-year limit for this, what I'm saying, from a legal
Yeah.
standpoint. But I mean, I basically just started making bootleg CDs, downloading shit on Napster, and then making my own covers. So I had like a DJ name, and I was doing like R&B mixtapes for like Valentine's Day. I was putting together. So by doing that, I got to listen to hundreds of records to put together the mixes, right? And I remember, coming across so much content on there. It was the first time that you started hearing like unreleased records, because before it was like whatever you bought on the album is what you get. There was no social media, there was no internet, so you never got any kind of unreleased stuff. And Napster kind of exposed me to that too, like the different artists and people I never heard of that were really dope. different producers, different things, and it was just like, wow, like it just opened my mind to the possibilities of like what this could turn into. At the time, it was illegal, but I could already see like, yo, if they can figure this out, like this is gonna be crazy. And now it is what it is today. It definitely turned into that. And so by creating mixtapes, selling them out the locker, getting all the little putting together the production. I mean, I basically was, although I'm stealing the music, I'm putting together the artwork. I'm printing out CDs. I'm doing, I'm making it official. Like I made it a legit business. I guess if you want to call it that, I'm downloading illegal music. But that's really where like I kind of started figuring out the business side of things, and realizing like, yo, like this is something that's like I get it, I like it, but I mean, there's also a lane here. Now, what that lane was, I didn't know, and I've always been a guy I got to try 15 things to kind of narrow it down. I was dabbling. So I dabbled in, the graphic design, the photos. And as I was doing that, I was, everybody and their mom in Milwaukee raps. Everybody raps, sings, everybody. So one of my guys at work, I was like a busboy at a restaurant for a long time. And, he was like, yo, my boy rap. And I was like, oh, I got a studio at the crib. Now, I'm super jacking. It was a false information given to this guy. So I go to him. I knew how to record. I had like a little bootleg recording set up, and I had like this cheap Radio Shack mic that I had like taped to the wall at my parents' crib. I'm like 17 at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I got the studio. Yeah, come through. So when they show up, I'm like, man, they're gonna be so devastated that this is what they're walking into. But like they were cool. And we literally within a week's time, like created a record label. And that's when I started. That was another aspect. I'm running a studio now, again, on the bootleg, super bootleg. I got ripped off software. I'm not paying for any. It is what it is. So that's kind of the progression to the business side of stuff. If you want to get back to the old days.
Yeah. Facts, facts. So, okay, so you start off with a graphic design. You start, you're making the album covers. You're doing, you're selling the mixtapes, and then you get introduced to someone who does, who raps. So, when did you know that you wanted to like start doing the music video, like and making like an
So
actual career out of it?
so I'm very competitive.
Mhm.
Very competitive. So I'm always looking on a way to like how to market better, what can I do? What can I buy? What can I get to give me that leverage? I'm always like analyzing global thinking. I call it, you got to sit back and just, figure out the recipe.
Yep.
So I'm always putting new ingredients in the recipe and seeing what hits. And the graphics were like my thing. I was the graphics dude. Like people were paying me to do graphics. So I'm like already making a business out of that. And I'm like, yo, like, the graphics are cool, but it's kind of a low dollar item, Like it's not really like there's value in it, but like it's not. It's more of like you got to do 1 million covers to actually make a couple bucks.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, as a record label, how can we be better than everybody in the city? Because that's just Milwaukee shit, Like if you're from Milwaukee, like we just have that mindset, like I got to be number one. I got to be the best. How do I do this? How do I do that? Whether it's, in good spirit or sometimes not. But I'm saying just being from a small city like Milwaukee, that was the mindset when we were growing up. Like, how do we become the best and the first and the only ones doing something? And at the time, videos weren't, it was like you had to be a millionaire to have a video, you know? So I'm always the dude to get the finesse going, like Napster, like the mixtape. So I'm over there networking, shaking hands, kissing babies, trying to figure out how to get the video side done. Cause I'm like, in my mind, I mean, I'm shooting a video for my guys. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't come out good, who cares? Second of all, like at that time, it was such a, like you had to be a millionaire to a music video, like I said. So if we were able to somehow figure out how to get a video shot, like we would immediately have something that other people didn't have. So of course, I figured it out, got a camera. I've said this story a million times. I got a camera from one of my guys' pops. He worked at the news station. We got the camera. He told me about a guy that rented lights. I rented a couple of lights. And we literally just threw a backyard party on the 4th of July with like 1,000 people, like on the south side of Milwaukee in this backyard. It looked like Lollapalooza. Like it was crazy. We literally invited like 10 people. And this is back in the day though. music videos didn't happen very often. So when we said, yo, we're shooting a music video, and we kind of had a little buzz about us,
Everybody pull up.
a lot of people showed up. I mean, that backyard was at maybe 30 people capacity. We had 1,000 people back there. I mean, the front yard was full, the backyard was. I still don't. The police never showed up. I think it was literally because the guy next door was a cop, and he was cool. Like he was in the back drinking, and I think he might have made a call for us or something because it was ridiculous. So we shot that video, and immediately it was like boop, like exactly what I expected it to do. You know, and I'm talking like, you know, we're not shooting on digital. We're not shooting. We're shooting on mini DV tapes, like small. You know, like it's basically a VHS tape, but a small version of it. So the editing process was horrible. Everything is just painful, but we got it done, put it out, and you know, the reaction, like I said, it was literally like a wildfire situation. Like, oh man, y'all got the video. I seen the video. Da 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 da. And we're handing out hard copies. Like we're burning DVDs, burning CDs. Like we're you know, social media really still ain't hitting at that point. So it's like we the outlets were more local. It was more out the trunk. It was more like, where can we get it on? It's not as accessible as just sitting in the crib, hitting go, and then just letting it fly. Which, you know, today, nowadays, I always tell the young dudes, like, my man, you don't realize the power you have on the couch right now. You know what I'm saying? We had to really get out there and shake hands and hand it off and give it to people. Otherwise, it'd never see the light of day. So once that happened, that really was like the gate, like when the gate opened for me. But it was also like, again, my small mindset at that point was like, this is for us. This is how we're better than everybody. This is how we've created a lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to gatekeep this. I'm not going to give it out. I'm not going to let anybody get videos from me. You know what I'm saying? So that really kind of gave me a disadvantage overall. And I didn't realize it until probably a year or two later, when now other guys, like cameras started becoming a little bit more accessible. Guys started getting in the game and they're shooting videos for everybody in the city. And I'm still just shooting for my team, which was cool. I mean, we were popping, we had things going on, but it was like how these other guys are doing all this and getting everybody in the city and shooting everybody's videos, and I'm over here just shooting my people, right? But it was my own fault. I literally said no to everybody because I was holding it for myself and I was being greedy with it. And once I realized like that wasn't the play, that's when I shift focus, like I go 1,000 miles per hour. So I hit the brakes on that, and I literally went the other way and just started hitting everybody up like, yo, you need a video, you need a video, you need a video. Started shooting with everybody that I knew in the city, and immediately kind of took it over. You know, not no shots, you know, to anybody else that was doing video at the time, but I remember they motivated me to be, because I was like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, dog, I'm as good or better than these people. Why are they getting all the videos? And I literally had to have some self-reflection. Like, I mean, it's basically you're not allowing people to get these videos. You're turning down people. You're being standoffish with it. So when I changed that direction, and I just went crazy, and I started just doing everybody in the city's videos and filming for people outside of the city and things like that too. And that's when I really realized, like, okay, this could potentially be something that I could do as a career, you know? And that was basically the genesis of how I transitioned from being just my people's video guy to turning it into, you know, a business. At that point, I would say very small, not making a lot of money, but if you're making money, you know, there's ways to leverage it up and all that. And, you know, I'm constantly thinking of ways to do that. So I knew I'd figure it out, and I essentially, you know, did.
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, it's inspiring just in itself. But I want to take it back just a little bit. So you don't have any formal like school training, correct?
Nah, so I mean, and I just literally talked about this. I posted some on IG the other day about the first, like, even when I was kind of getting into the game, like, I still didn't really understand how cameras worked. I just got the image to look good. I didn't really understand how I did. I'm just changing numbers and doing different stuff, but I'm like, it looks good to me. I don't know really why. I don't know what the aperture means. I don't really know what that number is. I don't really know what the ISO is. I really don't know what these things are, because at this time there wasn't a lot of information online, very limited. and wasn't a lot of people in Milwaukee that could tell me what was going on because just nobody really did it. So I was just kind of thugging it out and just going off of what I thought looked good. And I mean, I made so many. I look back on stuff and I'm like, damn. But I mean, at the time, it looked good to me, and I mean, it was good enough that people recognized it and saw either the potential in it or they liked it for what it is. And it kept generating more and more business. But I mean, yeah, I'm still figuring it out. I mean, I've been doing this forever now, and with new gear and new things and new process and the chain of events that you go from starting right to producing the video to setting up the locations to doing all these other things. There's 15 variables on every level. When you set up the locations, is it raining? What time of the season is it? Is there construction on that road? Is there going to be heavy traffic that day? Did they close that road down? I mean, there's 5 variables right there. And if you don't have time to go check it before you film, those 5 variables will definitely be coming into play. So then that's phase 1. Phase 2, making sure you have all the props and everything you need to deliver that. You know what I'm saying? Does the artist need a car? Do they need a special outfit? Do they need extras? Do they need a driver? All these different. So there's 5 more variables. Then you move on to the next level, and it's just constantly. So I literally learned the hardest way possible. No YouTube tutorials, no mentorship, absolutely no information, thugging it out, just annihilating videos, but making them look good enough that they were still, you know what I'm saying? Like I always knew how to razzle dazzle, and I'm the best at keeping it player on set. Like if it doesn't go good, like let's just say for instance, like I I don't hit record when I do a take, or I turn it, you know what I'm saying? Classic move. You hit record to stop the recording and you realize it starts recording. And you're like, oh man, I missed that take. So instead of being like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I missed the take, da da da. You just got it. Hey, my man, I think we could get you a little. I think if we hit it at this different angle, we're here with a quick pause. I think we could just maybe get it at a little bit better. I think your performance, I think you look real dope if we hit, you know what I'm saying? Boom, you just sell it. And then you get your other take, and then that's your take. So, and that's still to this day kind of a huge part of who I am because I'm still always learning. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still correcting those mistakes in real time. And the ability to do that in real time is essentially why I am who I am. Because if I showed you my mistakes, you'd think I was like, I wasn't a guy. If every time I made a mistake on set, the artist was aware of it, or the team or the management was aware of it, it would be a problem. And I'm able to finesse and move my way through those situations without anybody knowing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to correct in the real time and figure out how to patch it up and make it something that's going to be dope and work. Now, not so much as before. Now I got a lot of tricks in my bag. I'm a little bit more obviously prepared for things. It's not so much run and gun. I mean, it's still run and gun, but like the run and gun stuff is, I've made so many mistakes that I'm pretty ready, and I'm kind of anticipating these mistakes in comparison to just getting there and trying to figure out on the spot. I can kind of, using technology to, AI and all these other things, you can kind of like put together a better game plan, before the shoot and whatnot, so that you can avoid these mistakes, but they still happen. But I mean, I'm good at the pivot.
That's a skill in itself and an art for sure, for sure. So how do you go from filming in Milwaukee, these local artists to, filming like national, like mega stars, such as like T.I., Lil Wayne, Kendrick, like all those guys. Like how do you like what was that transition or that jump? How was that?
So, we're just thugging it out. I'm shooting local. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm reaching out to other artists. The reaching out to other people is like virtually impossible at that time. Like you gotta like mail a letter. You gotta try to email somebody, email a manager or something. Like it was horrible. It wasn't like today where you can hypothetically have direct access to basically essentially anybody. So ironically, I got in the game from Milwaukee. Milwaukee put me in the game. So an artist that I work with by the name of Talent, he was super popping, and he was just like me, grinding, finding connecting with people, hitting people up. He connected with a DJ on the East Coast, DJ Woogie, who was, doing all kinds of stuff in the rap game, doing, you know, working with a lot of artists. He was that guy. So talent was like a music industry encyclopedia. I still don't understand how. Like back then, when the information wasn't as readily available, this dude just knew everybody and knew who. I'm like, how you know the manager's cousin? Like, how do you know that? Where did you get that information from? And I learned a lot from him on the networking side because he would research like who was on the team and like work his way down. Like, okay, if I can't get a hold of the manager, I get hold of his assistant. If I can't get a hold of the assistant, I'll get hold of the assistant's cousin. And he would figure all this out pre-social media. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know. He must have worked for the FBI or something. But so he gets with this DJ Woogie. Woogie's linked up with a bunch of people. One of the people he's linked up with is Trae Tha Truth. Trae Tha Truth out of Houston. So at the time, I mean, this is back some social media is just kind of starting. So I don't really know who Trae Tha Truth is. Talent knew who Trae was. Talent knew how big he was down there. Talent knew what he brought to basically he just knew he knew who he was, like as if he lived in Houston. So he's like, yo, bro, I got Woogie works with this dude, Trae Tha Truth. We're going to do a video for Trae. I'm like, bet. So we shoot this we go crazy with talent as part of the video. And then I go to New York to shoot with Trae. I get with Trae. I got all these locations. We're in New York. Fire. Everything's going to look crazy, right? So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I walk into the hotel. Trae walks up. If you've ever seen Trae before, this dude, you know what I'm saying? He don't look friendly.
Right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Deep ass voice.
And as they say in Houston, he's super stiff with it. You know what I'm saying? He just, what's up, homie? Yeah. And I'm like, weird ass white dude. I'm like, hey, dude, I got some spots outside. I got one right here. He's like, nah, I think we just gonna shoot it in the lobby. And I'm like, the lobby of like a cool building or what are you talking about? And he's like, nah, like right here in a hotel. And I'm like, I know, mind you, it's like it wasn't like a whack hotel. It was like a 3.5-star hotel. You know what I'm saying? So it looks. I mean, they got continental breakfast out. Like it's so whack. So I'm like trying to convince him, but he's Trae, street dude, whatever. He not having it, and he kind of almost getting irritated with me because I'm trying to finesse him into getting him to do a better sound. I'm trying to like, bro, we went and did this with talent. We did all this crazy stuff. Nah, homie, let's just shoot it here. I feel better if we shoot it here. So long story short, we shot it in the hotel, and it didn't match absolutely anything that we shot with talent, and was nowhere near what talent's footage looked like. I mean, it was usable at best, but it wasn't good. And I remember this is the phone call that changed everything. I get a call out of nowhere from a Houston number, and I'm like, hello? What up, homie? It's Trae. And I'm like, oh, hi. And he's like, I seen the video. Why my scenes look so weak compared to talent scenes? And I'm like, bruh. I'm like, Doug, you don't remember me telling your motherfucking ass to get outside? We have 6 locations a block away. You ain't got to go nowhere. I told you we went crazy with talent scenes. And he was like, yeah, I don't know about that. So basically, he had the amnesia when it came to that section of remembering that he was the reason why we weren't able to shoot anything dope. But what it led to is he was like, hey, bro, I'm looking to shoot some videos. I want to, can you rock with me? And I'm like, all right, well, like, what do you got in mind? And he was like, well, if you mess with me, if you rock with what I got going on, essentially you come help me out, I'll help you out. Within 6 months, I'm going to have you shooting with everybody in the industry. I'm cool with everybody. Now, I don't really know Trae at all. Not even just know, like, personally, like, I don't even know who he is as an artist at this point. I wasn't up on, like, the underground Houston stuff. I was a New York dude. I knew about all the New York guys. Nobody from down south. So I ran it past Woogie, ran it past Talent. And they were like, yeah, dog, he's the guy. I'm like, all right, whatever. So if I go and shoot him some videos, you know what I'm saying? I guess worst case scenario, I got some Trae Tha Truth videos in because you guys are telling me he's kind of popping. So I go down there. First day I'm down there, I had sandals on, like white boy sandals on, like cargo shorts and a wife beater because I had gone out the night before and I was loaded. I was still drunk. And I took the 5 a.m. joint. So I went from the club to the boom. And I'm like, I'll just change when I get there. So I got my backpack with my gear and I got my suitcase with my clothes in it. So I'm like, when I get there, I'll get to the hotel. I have take a shower, get situated, and we'll film the video, singular. Get there, some dude picks me up in a dang Porsche truck. Some random dude, one of Trae's people. Um, we go like immediately to where Trae's at, downtown Houston. And I'm like, yo, we gonna be able to, whatever. He's like, nah, Trae needs you right now. And I'm like, all right. So this is my glimpse. This is my now that I know Trae, this is like the most Trae the Truth thing to do. I pull up, it's Trae standing by his car with the swingers on it and like 1,000 people outside. And I'm like, I'm thinking there's like an event going on, like a Trae show or like some kind of neighborhood mixer.
Yeah.
It was for the video, and I'm like in sandals with a wife beater on, haven't showered from the night before. It's 115 degrees in Houston, and I'm like, I get out the car and Trey's like, "Hey, you ready?" And I'm like, I mean, shit, I guess I'm gonna have to be. We got 1,000 people here, and I'm like, yo, bro, like so caveat, roll it back 2 minutes. My luggage got lost, so I don't even have clothes with me.
Oh, so you
So
couldn't change even if you wanted to.
so bro, I'm stanking. I'm hungover. It's 115 degrees. I got sandals on and a wife beater, looking super weak. 1,000 people out here. Triple OG, every gangster in Houston's out there, and I'm some weird ass white kid hopping out with a $800 camera. Like, let's shoot, guys. So I'm like, we get to filming, right?
Mm.
And then he's like, yeah, after we're done here, I'll take you get some clothes for you. I'm like, well, we can just go back to the airport. And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, we got to go to the next shoot. I'm like, the next shoot? What you mean? And he's like, yeah, we got 2 more planned for today. I'm like, dog, this can't be real. But I'm a grinder. I work.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I was like, all right, cool, let's get it. I'm here. Might as well be working. So I remember we left the first location, went to the second location. On the way there, we went to this little trap spot. And the trap spot got the little pro tees. So I grabbed a pro tee. I grabbed some socks. So because I didn't want to have a raw butt naked feet. So I put some socks on the sandals and I just thugged it out. I was in hooping shorts, sandals, and now in pro club. So 2 more videos. He had Freeway there. He had a couple other rappers there. Like it was like a fully coordinated like thing. But when on the phone, Trae don't talk. He don't tell you nothing. He was just like, yeah, homie, show up on Tuesday. We gonna shoot. That's all he said to me. I'm thinking one video. I'm thinking a couple hours in and out. No big deal. I was there. We shot for 18 hours. I didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock in the morning. And I hadn't slept. I slept 2 hours on the plane. So I get off the plane, 2 hours of sleep, no clothes, no nothing. And I shoot from like 8 in the morning until 6 in the morning. Like it was ridiculous. Like I was out of there. I'm sunburned. I'm sweated out. I smell like I played 500 games of basketball. Like, bro. And I mean, the videos came out hard though. So, and that was like literally, my introduction to Trae. And that was when Trae was like, all right, homie. Like it was like some boot camp Trae shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, homie, you made it.
Pass. Yeah.
You're in. You're in. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker. So I'm like, all right, well, let's see how this goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this dude, rap dudes be a lot of times on just saying whatever. I'm talking about, bro, I think probably in 30 days from that video, I shot with Wiz Khalifa, Kendrick, J. Cole, T.I. Now, T.I. was like a couple months later, but I'm saying within a 6-month range. I mean, I had shot with I shot with so many people,
Dude.
dog.
Yeah.
So many people. And Trae was it was crazy how it was set up. Trae would just call me, say, go to LA on Friday, be there in the morning. And I'm like, all right, for what? You got to shoot this feature for me. I'm like, all right. So he sent me the plane ticket, get my hotel, get my driver, all that stuff. And I go to the airport. I still have no idea really who I was. I call him when I get there, and then he'd be like, yo, call this number. Tell him you're Philly Trace guy. I'm like, all right. It's like literally like some Taken movie shit. I'm there. I don't even know who I'm going to the West Coast. I'm going to like the Rolling 60s by myself. I'm white. I'm like, bruh, I'm popping out with a camera looking like a pure bozo. They know I'm not from around here.
Yeah.
And literally, like, I get out the car and, like, you Trace, homie? Like, yeah, come on. Like,
Yeah.
bro, if you could film like a reality show on this or like a mini documentary of the situations I was in, but then it was like immediately cleared up because the second they were like, "Oh yeah, you Trae's homie, all right, come on, let's go," and then I'm like treated like royalty because I'm Trae's people, just filming everybody. I mean, I filmed Kendrick like in the middle of the neighborhood in like Watts or something. I can't remember exactly where, but we were on the block. Nobody cared. No one cared. Absolutely nobody, bro. I'm standing there with Kendrick. We shot for like probably 30, 45 minutes. People are walking around. People are, they did not care at all because he wasn't Kendrick yet. Trae knows about everybody before they become somebody because he be looking out for all the up and coming people.
Mm, okay.
They just be cool with everybody. So Trae be cool with all the, like, he don't really care if you're the biggest or the smallest artist in the world or if you're whatever it is. If you're cool, like he rocks with you. So he knew, that's how he knew about J. Cole before he was J. Cole and knew about Kendrick. I mean, Kendrick was just totally unknown when Trae put me on Kendrick, and like a year later, Kendrick was huge. So, I mean, really, when it boils down to it, it goes from talent in Milwaukee, networking with Woogie, putting me in the mix with Trae, getting into very sketchy situations that actually turned out pretty good. That's how I got to where I'm at. I
Man.
mean, I'm grinding though too. I'm
Oh yeah,
thugging it
no,
out.
for sure.
You
For
put
sure.
me like, look at, what I'm saying, coach put me in the game, and I'm hitting buckets. That's basically what it is.
Absolutely.
Big coach Trae put me in the game. Let me do my thing, and I delivered on what I was supposed to do, and he delivered on what he was supposed to do, and that's where we're at with it today.
I know you definitely grind because All-Star Weekend 2013
Oh yeah, you
was
already
in
know.
Houston. Yeah, and
You
uh
saw it live at 5.
man, what? I remember I forget the name of the restaurant anyway, but we was like 10 deep anyway. We had two Suburbans, and I think you called Mike Wayne or somebody.
I call Mike.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah, I
So
call
then you
him.
called Mike, and then Mike was like,
Shouts to
"Yo,
Mike. Hey, Mike Wayne's still looking out. He's still
oh,
looking out.
fact. Shout out to Mike
Yeah.
Wayne, man. Hey, so you hit up Mike and like we had just got our food. So like we, eating or whatever, chilling. You like, man, meet us at this location. I'm seeing you the address like right now. Like we about to shoot
I
with
brought
Tip.
y'all to the bricks. I
The
brought y'all to the bricks,
bro,
which
we
if
didn't
you
know
know,
where we were going, bro, but we were just following the GPS. And we like we get to the spot and we like, ooh, it is thick out here. But no, they was
I'm saying,
out
if
here.
you know Houston, the bricks is like, it's literally the same as training day when you pull in.
Yeah,
Right? It's a long driveway with all, like you're surrounded.
yeah.
And we were in the back
The back,
of
yeah.
so you had to go through the whole neighborhood
Yep.
to get to the back. And that neighborhood's kind of by itself. So if you pull in there,
It's one
like,
way in, one way out.
that's it. There's
Yep.
no way to maneuver, and
Yep.
there's nothing else really around, so people know you didn't make a wrong turn.
Yep.
So I remember y'all pulled up, and we were filming Ti and Trae
Yep.
because Tip was in town for All Star, and I'm shooting Tip's video that day too. And of course, Trae, typical Trae, he's like, "Hey, bro, I got to get this scene with Tip too." And I'm like, "Okay." Now, mind you, the bricks is like 30 minutes outside of the city, so with traffic and everything, it's probably less than that, whatever. But I'm saying this is a little ways outside of the city. So this is when Tip's on Atlantic. So I have Atlantic blowing me up. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I'm like, yo, I'm out here, like, whatever. They're like, we're supposed to be shooting. Da-da-da. I'm like, I'm with Tip. I'm with him right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. I'm like, I will be leaving here with him, and we're coming to the other location because they were waiting for us at the studio.
Yep.
So I remember they're blowing me up. We had the car ready to go, like all these things ready to go. And whose car did I get in? So,
You got into somebody's bin. It was like the bins, like the
oh, it was Trae's Benz. It was
yeah,
Trae's
yeah,
Benz.
yeah. Yep, yep,
And
yep.
y'all hopped in with me.
No, we were following you. Well, we was trying to follow you,
Oh,
and
you're trying to find me.
y'all was going like 100. Like we weaving in and out of traffic. I kept up, but man, it was
I'm saying my driving ain't no, I ain't no hole on the wheel. I'm saying I remember because I got Atlantic blowing me up, Tips on the way, and I still had to get the car set up and the other stuff for Tips part of the shoot. And that was the first music video I ever shot for Tip.
oh really?
That was the first video I ever shot for Tip. Like I'd shot stuff with Tip,
Yeah.
but never like his video. That was the first one, The Way We Ride.
Yep.
The way we ride. And I remember there was two things going on. One, Atlantic, their record labels are the worst. The worst. They'll make you wait for years, but the second you make them wait, they're gonna cry all day long. And then when you get there, they're not even ready. Horrible. Regardless. Sorry, I got a vendetta against some of these label people. Shouts
Oh,
out
yeah.
to the good label people and to the you know who you are. And so they're calling me because the problem is Trae has me go out here to do this thing for him, which obviously I gotta take care of Trae, make sure he's good. Tip want to do it too, so they're all homies and whatnot. But we got to get back because it's All-Star Weekend. He has a show and an appearance to make. So the longer I take over here and we don't start his video, the less I have time with Tip.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So they're calling me like, yo, he's got an appearance at 8 p.m. It's 5:30 and da-da-da. So we do 120 from the bricks all the way into downtown. I'm flying like Brian. Get to there. We mount this car up on the car trailer.
Yep.
And it's being towed around the perimeter of downtown Houston, but it's reversed. So it looks like he's driving in reverse, on some Houston, just trippy vibes. And we had police escort, like all these things are going on. And I remember it was like, y'all were thugging it out with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at first I didn't think y'all would show up to the bricks because when I called, they were like, bro, we just got our food.
Literally.
So I'm like, bro, they're never making it. So when I'm filming and you guys showed up, I was like, oh yeah, y'all about that life. And then when we left in a hurry, like we got up out of there and y'all kept up with me. And then we showed up to the next spot. And then were y'all following us while we were filming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know there was a couple cars that were following with the film car.
Because we had the two black Suburbans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we just kept doing laps around the city or whatever. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they definitely about that life. But
I think the Suburbans helped us though. Like we would have been in like some like regular cars or whatever because it looked kind of presidential. Like you know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah. It looked like y'all were part of the production.
Exactly.
I'm saying y'all were giving the cops like, you're good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's like, I mean, that extreme of a scenario isn't always the case, but that's how I move. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the kind of dude that like, hey, if my baby's being born and I got 20 minutes to quick go get this shot real quick before the baby come, I'm gonna go quick make that happen. I am very rarely gonna give you an excuse as to why I can't get something done. And that's really why I've been able to grab a lot of opportunities too, just because I make it shape. And a lot of these dudes, like, man, that's the worst thing ever with me. When I hear people like, hey, bro, I want to help, bro. Anytime you got anything, bro, let me know. And I in the past, I've hit people like, yeah, bro, like, what's up, man? I'm going to be down there in Atlanta tomorrow. Oh, man, tomorrow, bro? Any other day would have been good, bro, but I got to walk my dog tomorrow, bro. Like, bro, if you would have told me, you know what I'm saying? I could have had someone else walk my dog, and I'm like, bro. So I'm like, 90% of the people that hit me about doing work, unfortunately, other people have ruined that opportunity for you. I've had so many people that I've tried to give opportunity, and I still do very selectively. I got to vet you, screen you, and figure it out because at the end of the day, like, I'm down to help, but I'm also not down to waste my own time. And I was wasting my own time chasing other people that were begging me to work on set. And it's frustrating when I would give people the opportunity that they've been asking for months, for weeks, for days. And I give it to them like on a silver platter. And they come up with like some super lame. I'm like, bro, you know what I had to do to get this opportunity? Like, bro, I literally like sacrificed everything. And you can't show up because you can't find a ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm always one to help facilitate too. And I'm also one to try to catch you on your bullshit too. So like, if you say something that I can fix, I'll give you the fix. Like, oh, I ain't got a ride, bro. I'm just trying to get over there. I'm like, well, shit, I'll send an Uber right now. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be, I got to quick go stop somewhere first. I'm like, well, bet, put it in. You can put the stop in.
Yeah.
Add the stop. Just tell me the address and I'll put it in. I'll get the Uber for you. Oh, well, bro, I'm saying, but I don't know when they're going to be there. So I got to sit over there and wait. I'm like, all right, bro. And I know that not everybody's like that, but I've dealt with a lot of people that are on that kind of energy. And then they follow up like, bro, next time, no, I got you. I'm like, there is no next time, bro.
Yep.
There's not. And because unfortunately, that's how my attack dog over there. Oh, no, that's unfortunately. Hey, cool it. You see dad mode, man, playing out here. So unfortunately, that's how I was handled. And I don't mean to be a dick. I'm the nicest guy ever. You know what I'm saying? But if you sweat me about something and you don't deliver on it the same way that I got treated, if I sweated you to give me an opportunity to shoot you a video and I gave you some bullshit excuse why I couldn't do it, that record label is never going to answer the phone for me ever again. You know what I'm saying? So it's a two-part system. And I tell people this like, yo, if you want these positions, you don't get the luxury of understanding when it's going to actually happen, right? If you're asking for an opportunity, you do not have the power or you know, just the luxury of having that the exact date or the time when it happens. So you know, like Tip says, you know what I'm saying, stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. You know, and that equates to opening multitudes of opportunities because every opportunity that I've ever got in my life is a threefold at minimum. Do this, two more things come from that. Two more things come from that, two more things come from that, and it turns into you have a whole bunch of people that you work with now. I mean, it takes time. Obviously, I made it pretty simple. But I'm saying like every time I get an opportunity, I've had opportunities with people that I made $500 with that ended up making me 80 grand on in a year's time because they knew somebody saw their work, they showed it to them. Now they did 20 videos with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to you every opportunity, if you're really about this and you really want to try to make this happen, like every opportunity has to be looked at as potential of blooming into something bigger. And no matter what it is, unless short of a family member dying, you need to be able to jump on that thing because at the end of the day, it's how things work. No one feels sorry for you. No one cares. No one is going to give you a second chance. It is what it is. Not in the entertainment industry. Not in a lot of industries, but especially not in the entertainment industry. It is a one chance, one time deal. If you don't jump on it when it's ready to go, you can basically be guaranteed you're not getting that call back. And if you call again, you will be ignored.
Free game, free game. I hope hope they soaking it up, man. But so you dominate the music video game, right? So or you're dominating the music video game. What's the transition like into the like the film? Like we talked off camera a little bit. Like I checked out Soul with Trey, and like the movie is hilarious, dog. Like it's funny as hell. Like so like how do you get into directing? The cinematography.
So big shouts out to the movie Soul. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out on
Man,
Tubi.
please go check it
Um,
out.
Me, Trae Tha Truth, my boy Ricky Rich, who's Trey's people, my people. He's a producer, studio guy. He owns one of the biggest studios, 713, Studio 713 in Houston. We all put the movie together. Um, but I mean, to be honest with you, this is our second movie together. There's a movie we shot that never came out, but it wasn't a full length. It was like 22 minutes and it was a promo for Trey's album. And can you still see me? Because I just got a call.
Yep, yep, yep. I can still see you.
Let me just get that up out the scenery. So let me start over. So me, Rich, and Trey put together a short film for a promo for his album. And, at this point, like I was still green with the directing as far as like, movie and things like that. But what was, rewind just a little bit before that, on the video I did with T.I. and Lil Wayne, the With Me video, I literally got linked up through mutual friends of a producer down in Florida, owner of Florida Film House, Marco, and his co-owner Blob. And these guys do film, but I needed help with this music video to get cars and do all this other stuff. So my guy linked me with Marco, and Marco's like, yeah, I got you, whatever, da da da. So Marco, takes care of everything with the Ti video for me. And when I get there, he's like, yo, like, let's make it a movie. Let's do dialogue. Let's do all this shit. And I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, no, not on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like we just want to keep it, player, like we just gonna it's just fast paced, no dialogue.
Yeah.
So we ended up actually adding in way more storyline. Like he's like, no, cool, we don't gotta do dialogue, but let's make it a story. Let's have the guy chasing him and then he gets to this spot. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I never really done anything like that. And he when I did it, he was like, bro, you got some skills, dog. Like you really tied this together and how you edited and all that. So me and Marco like immediately connected. And Marco was a film guy. I'm a video guy. He took his film experience, put it into my music video, made my music video 10 times better. And from there on out, me and him were rocking on music videos and other things. And every time he teaching me more game, bro, add this, add some dialogue, add some more storyline. It's gonna make your stuff better. And I just built on that in the music videos because I kept denying the movies to him because I wasn't ready. But he was like, okay, cool. Don't do a movie, but just make this a movie. Like I did the Kevin Gates movie, which is a 3-part music video. And it's 3 music videos for Kevin Gates. And Marco wrote a whole story, or his team, they wrote a whole story. So the first video to the last video, they play sequentially. And if you look on YouTube, it's called the Kevin Gates movie. And they just blend right into each other. And the story from the beginning ends at here and this and that. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that did that. And that was like, at the time, that was like, hadn't been done since Jay-Z had did it years before. And we took those 3 pieces and put it together. So I was getting pushed into the film. Not that I didn't want to do it, but I'm saying like film, actually doing the film. But he's giving me elements of film nonstop. Marco pushing me like, bro, come on. And I respected him so much. And, you know, he had done so much for me too. I'd always be like, all right, cool. I just entertain it. And then it come out so dope. I'm like, man, this is dope. But I'm still nervous because I'm not well trained. I'm not formally trained. So, you know, I always like to take things slow and work my way into it. So years later, I've now been implementing it nonstop. And I literally got to a point where I'm like, I'm comfortable. Let's do some film. So that's when I hit Trae to do the first film, the short film, 22 minutes. Me, Richie, Trae, do this film. Trae gets everything you could ever possibly want. Locations, people, this, that, and the other thing. So we put this whole thing together. It comes out really well. It didn't come out, right? Because there was a whole like lot of like record label stuff, just politics stuff going on that ended up not coming out. But we just saw how good it was. So we were like, yo, we got to spin the block on this and just do an actual movie instead of a promo. You know what I'm saying? So we got together for this movie Soul. Rich now, you know, Rich is the studio runner. He knows everybody in the city. He got with some script writers, some business partners of his. They do movies too. So he got a bunch of game from them. He's got all the equipment, all the additional crew. I do what I do. Trae does what he does. He gets all the local comedians and the actors and everybody in the locations all together. Richie puts the production together, the sound people, the little buddies helping out on set, all that. I'm doing the razzle dazzle pack. I'm sauce packing up the whole thing. Is that the razzle dazzle right there? Hey, that was cold. Hey, cue the razzle dazzle on them boys. That was fun. Hey, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, it's
I
a new
say do the sauce
effect.
pack and the damn effects blow up. I like it. So shouts out to Zoom. Y'all got it going crazy over here. I like that the sauce pack initiated you know, some entertainment.
I love it.
But so when that combination really is what it is. It's the combination of Trae having the resources that he has, me having my skill set, and then Rich filling in all the blanks and us coming together. And that's really where it boils down to it. Like, I never really had a team. And you cannot do a film without a team. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's virtually impossible. I mean, you can do it with a skeleton crew is what we did. With Soul, we did it with a skeleton crew. We were thugging it out. I mean, we had a second camera, but not really. I mean, I shot all those scenes myself.
Oh, wow.
Like, hey, I shot all them scenes, my boy. I don't even know what I'm saying that's blowing these fireworks off, bro.
So iPhone has like these new like effects. So like if you like hold your fingers a certain type of way.
What am I saying?
No, it's your hand placement. So like if you do like a peace sign or like thumbs up, like sometimes it'll like have effect.
See, look, I think it's when I say fire shit, fireworks go off. That's really because I've been saying some heat, and when I say some fire, that shit go off.
That was cold.
Yeah, so it was really when I got the team, like working with Marco and Blah. I've done stuff with them. That's because we got the team. We got everybody that needs to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that was really the thing that was holding me back. I didn't really have a team. And once I developed that team rapport and got the right players in the right positions, and that's not easy. I mean, I've been doing this, 20 years, bro, and I'm just getting into film because now I've just got with the right people, and I've known them forever, but they were still learning too. They weren't on the level that they're at now. So it's like getting that team together it's non-negotiable. you don't have to have 100 people, 2 or 3 key people to make it happen, unless you just got money to blow. If you got a big budget, which nobody has, if you just a regular buddy with 100 grand, 200, 300 grand in your pocket that you can blow in a movie, then you can just hire out and figure it all out. But in my case, I don't have that kind of budget, so I got to figure it out with the people that I got. And fortunate for me, I got the best people. Richie does what he does amazing. Trae does what he does amazing. So we get all this talent together. A lot of these guys, I was talking to you about this, a lot of these guys are first-time actors, right? They're comedians. They've done some small acting stuff, but a full-blown feature. First time for me filming, not technically. First time for me directing, for sure. Me filming a feature, I filmed before for other people, but there was other people directing. I was just running camera. But I'm saying me filming and directing, Trae producing it, Richie producing it. These guys, this is all first time stuff. So Soul is literally like our first true blue go at it. And we wanted to create something that captured the Houston vibes, that brought a different light to Trae too, because Trae's really goofy. Like, he a street dude and you don't want to mess with him at all, for surely not. But like when he's with his people in the inner circle, like, dog, Trae funny as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In like a gangster kind of way, but he funny, you know. Him and his brothers dialogue between each other, like J-Ton, who slaps his back in there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Trae's real brother.
Oh, really?
That's his brother. That's why J-Ton's the only person that could have done that. When he slaps Trae in the back like that, if anyone else would have done that, that scene would have been a fight.
He hit him
But
hard as hell.
As fuck, intentionally. Intentionally. So that's what I'm saying. So J-Ton gets away with that, and J-Ton's calling him a bitch and all this other shit, right?
Yeah.
And if you notice, anyone that calls Trae a bitch in this movie is his family or like his friend from like 30 years ago. No one else can call Trae a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you see someone calling Trae a bitch in this movie, even in the movie, even though they're playing a character, it had to be the only people that were allowed to call Trae a bitch were his friends or family. Hey. Just to get that clear.
Hey, let me stop you real quick. But even though to Trae's gangster, like in the outtakes when Shorty was holding his hand, and he was like, man,
he's like, bro, I'm uncomfortable right now. But here's the problem. Trae takes everything real legit. Like, he gonna go hard at acting, at singing, at rapping, whatever he does, right?
Yeah.
So even in that situation that we put him in, where he's got to have like a romantic dinner with this girl, this love interest or whatever. And I mean, we have more behind the scenes than that, but the bloopers showed that was a good part of the bloopers of us getting Trae into character, because, you know, I'm like, yo, grab his hand, or someone say grab Trae's hand or whatever. And he like, hey, I don't know about all that. I'm like, bro, are you so gangster that you can't touch your girl's hand? He like, I'm saying I'm not. This ain't for me. But we're like, Trae, it's not you. It's Eddie.
Yeah.
You're not Trae anymore. You're Eddie. Yep. All right. I feel that. All right, come on. You know, and then it would get him to do it. So, but I mean, he embraced the role. And if you notice throughout the movie too, like, he's playing a very vulnerable character.
Yeah.
Yep. He's not Big Bad Trae.
Yep.
He gets tied up. He gets robbed. He gets guns pulled on him. He's, you know, the girl kind of likes him, kind of doesn't. He's not the big rapper superstar that gets all the girls and runs the show and everything, which is so dope, because that's just been done. He's more along the lines of like an Ice Cube, right? Like Ice Cube and Friday, and obviously everybody pulls from Friday. We pulled from Friday. Everyone pulls from Friday. Friday's like the bar for these kind of movies, and we love the fact that Ice Cube was a G, but he didn't like overly gangster it up. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we wanted Trae to be in the pocket, and I think he delivered great on it. The funniest shit ever is that I had to film Trae taking a fake shit on the toilet. That was something I didn't see in my future. And when we're sitting in this bathroom, and it's the bathroom to the actual shoe store that we're filming in, right? But the shoe store's open. So when we first started, it's me, Trae, and Rich in there, and I'm filming, and someone, like a customer, bro, the customer cracks the door. I'm like, yo. I'm like not even realizing, right, how this looks to them. I'm like, yo, my man, we filming. Like, I'm just saying it like as if they're aware that we're doing a movie in there. And nah, dude's like, the look on this dude's face, he was tripping. But he just left and never came back. Yeah. But another thing that was crazy, like, this is like, you know, a little behind the scenes like stuff.
Yeah,
We had a
love
night. This is the weirdest. This is one of the weirdest things that happened on set. Everything went really good on set for the most part. Everything was pretty smooth. A couple of little stupid things, but like when we were there one night, the store closes at 9, and we had to stay for an extra 30, 40 minutes, right? So we're in there. The workers are kind of in the back doing their thing. These two dudes walk in. We don't really notice because we're filming. They they we see them like looking around the store, and then they leave. And then one of the workers comes out. He's like, "Yo, them dudes just stole like $3,000 worth of shit." And we were like, "Who?" And they were like, "Oh, these two dudes. They said they were with you guys." And we're like, "Who?" So we go on the video camera, and these dudes legit kind of like come in on some real smooth shit, like acting like just regular. The guy in the back comes up to him like, "Yo, we're closed," or whatever, and you can see him talking. And the guy said, "Oh, I'm with them." So the worker goes, "Oh yeah, you're good," and goes back in the back. And then he came back out, and allegedly he caught them as they were leaving, and they were like, "Whatever, we're filming." So Trae ended up having to pay for all that shit.
it.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, this indie shit, we don't have no security. We don't have nobody blocking the doors.
Right.
We're kind of just in the mix doing our own thing. That's a variable. I mean, on a regular set, $3,000 will fucking crush you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's the most unexpected expense because it didn't even go towards production. We just had to buy the clothes because essentially they would have been closed had we not been there. And them dudes finessed the hell out of everybody. So I'm saying that's just one of there's a million stories from on set. That was one that was probably like the most odd, weird thing that had happened to us on set when the guy stole the clothes about it. They finessed it crazy. They were like, "Yeah, we here with the film crew. We filming." Like,
Everybody like, okay, cool.
I give them 10 bonus points for the finesse.
Man, Philly. So I got one more question.
Yeah.
You're a legend in the music video game. Soon to
I
be
would say so. For me, I would say like I wouldn't say legend because I've never really done big videos, right? Like I've done big videos, but I'm saying like the biggest of videos, right? I always consider myself like more like a street legend because I'm a big street video guy, and I came up in the street videos, and that's where my like forte is. Not to say that I appreciate the accolades,
Yeah, no.
but you got to be realistic with yourself too. Like people will be like, "Bro, you this, you that." I'm like, yeah. I'm like I'm
Yeah,
like the best quarter.
but I'm saying
I'm like the best. Look, I'm like the best quarterback on the team that didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But I got some in-season stats that are amazing.
all right.
So
All
go
right.
ahead. I don't
That
mean to be self-loathing by any means, but I just egos are run crazy in this industry. I try to.
stay level set. I feel you, and I feel that. I guess from my perspective, looking in, and seeing, your body of work over, span like you said over 20, 20 plus years, and
Yeah.
seeing what you've done and who you've worked with and the success that you've had, like that's to me, that's legendary. That's
No, I
legendary
appreciate it.
shit. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And then for you
I mean,
to
Dan Marino's a legend. He ain't never won a Super Bowl, so I get what you're saying. You know
there
what I'm
we
saying?
go, there we
I'm the
go. You know what
Dan
I mean?
Marino. I'm the Dan Marino of the music videos.
Shit, Charles Barkley is a legend. He ain't won an
So I
NBA
guess you
championship.
might be right.
Come
If you
on,
look
man.
at it like that,
Come on. But no, I mean with the success and now you transitioning into, the film world, like what's next for Philly?
movies.
Movies. Okay.
What about that's all I said?
That's it.
What about movies?
That's
That's
it.
it.
Hey, that's it.
Interview's over.
That's
So
it.
no, I think it's really gonna boil down to a couple of things. One, I'm doing the same thing with movies as I'm doing with when I started everything. I'm dabbling, I'm figuring it out. Is it comedy? Is it dramas? Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? So I'm in my like exploration phase right now, right?
Yep.
So I really couldn't tell you exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be in movies, whether that's me filming them, directing them, editing them, screenwriting. I don't know. So I can't write. I've got a third grade level writing ability. You know what I'm saying? My mind works real fast. My writing skills work very slow. So I don't know if that's the case. AI might be able to help me out in that case. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I think it's just basically I'm in the infancy of it, transitioning over into film. And I got one under my belt. I've had multitudes that I've worked with in some fashion. Soul being the one that I did everything for. First one where I was with the full blown hands on, put my own money into it, did all that kind of stuff. And I think time will tell, but it's going to be in film. It's going to be film film, TV, things like that. Just basically, you know, when I come into any kind of industry and when I come into anything, when it was stealing music to getting into music videos, to starting a recording studio, I rapped, I sang, I recorded, I made beats, I did the graphics, I shot the videos, I did everything. And then I dialed it in. And then I stopped doing everything else. That's how I attack everything. So right now I'm doing like everything with the films. I'm shooting, directing, I'm lighting, I'm editing, I'm doing it all. And I'm starting to find out like where I feel comfortable, what I enjoy, what I can see myself doing for a long period of time. So I'm saying like in the next probably 2 to 3 years, I'll be locked in and we can have this conversation again and I'll have a clear answer for you. But it's something that I recommend to a lot of people because it's the same principle as college. You go in at 19, 20 years old, 18, whatever it is, and just pick something. And you're forced to have to almost lock in on that one, even if you don't like it, because you're spending bread. And unfortunately, that's the reason why so many people get a degree that they don't ever use, because on the process of getting that degree, they start figuring out what they want, or they find something else, or they get a path, or after college they find a new path, a new career path, whatever. So I've seen that from the reverse, and I would always be like, yo, like, how do I know I want to be a rapper? Never been a rapper, so let me rap. Okay, that ain't for me. Okay, what about being a recording engineer? Okay, let me do that for 6 months. Nah. Do I wake up every day wanting to do this shit? Nah, it's kind of a job. I'm not really feeling it. Get that out the way. But then when you find something, you got to lock in and just go full blast. You know what I'm saying? So hit the buffet line, fill your plate up, half a scoop of everything on the buffet line. And then on the second turn to the buffet, fill the whole fucking plate up with whatever you like the best out of that buffet line. And that's all the rest that you eat. Don't worry about none of the sides, nothing else. Just focus only on that, and you're gonna be straight.
Man, I love it. And hey, I had 5 rapid fire questions, but I think I'm just gonna end it on that, man. You can't go wrong with that, man. That analogy, like how
The
you laid
buffet
it out,
reference,
that
you know what I'm
that's heat.
saying? The
That's
buffet
heat. That's
reference,
fire.
let's get it.
We need the effects to come up.
Fireworks!
Hey,
Congratulations!
but Philly, man,
It's
I
ridiculous. No
appreciate
matter
you.
what, bro, I'm telling you, Doug. I'm telling you. Zoom knew when I was giving heat. They knew.
They should.
Because
They
when
should have. It
I
should have
was
popped up
literally
now.
giving the heat. I was giving the heat, and the fireworks started going, dog. We gonna play it back on the replay.
Oh, fact.
This is all recorded, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, we hitting it on the replay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
It's
man.
gonna be on Instagram. It's going up on the gram.
Oh
The
yeah,
fireworks
absolutely.
show.
We go chop. Yeah, we gonna chop it up. We gonna chop it up for sure. No, that was fire. That was fire. But man, hey, matter of fact, I'm curious. I got 5 rapid fire questions. Then we gonna wrap up.
Come on, let's get it. I'll try. I talk too much, so I'll try to be fast with these
Oh,
ones.
we good. We good. We good. We chopping it up. All right. So first one, first camera. I'm sorry, favorite camera to shoot with.
Anything in the red, anything made by red. I've been on red cameras for some years now. I saved up all my money, sold everything I had, worked at every job, finessed everything I could do to get to a red cam, and I've gone to other camera systems. And no matter what it is, I love how reds work. I love how they look. I'm very comfortable with it, and I don't care about any other camera. And that's how it should be. Find what you love. Find what works good for you. Forget about everything else. Stop looking on websites for a new camera, a new this. Just work on the camera you love. Make it the best you can, and that's it.
Bet. All right. Last movie you watched.
So I didn't watch a movie the last time. So I don't watch really anything. I do, but I don't. Like, I mean, as far as like most people consume as far as content, I'm very particular because I don't have a lot of time and I want to learn from what I watch. If I'm watching it, it's more than just because it's a dope show. It's because how it's filmed, how it looks, who's acting in it. So Griselda, I just got done watching that because it's just like Narcos. Narcos was like my favorite show ever because how it was filmed, the actors, just filming on location in all these different countries, all these other things. These are things that I want to do. So I use it as like a learning plus enjoyable because it's an amazing series. Before that, I just got done watching Snowfall for the first time ever, like a month ago.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm
That
I'm one
last
I'm one
episode
I'm one
was
episode in on Griselda, so
Bro, just yeah. I mean, it's the story. The Griselda. I mean, they're not exactly accurate to the real story, but they're pretty close. So I'm saying, like, you know what's gonna happen, you know how it goes down, but at the end of the day, like, just how it's put together is the cinematography, it's the acting, it's the execution of just the emotion. That's like Sophia gives you so much emotion without words. She snapped with this. Like, you feel her frustration, you feel her anger, and she's not saying anything. You just feel it. And her expressions and her body language. I mean, class action. I mean, it's crazy how good she did in that series. Everybody in that series was amazing.
Back. All right, next one. Would you rather be hot or cold?
I'm white as hell. I'd rather be in freezing sub below zeros. I get hot. I'm Polish, bro. If you look, right, the higher you go north, the whiter the people get. Okay.
Yeah.
The lower you go into the heat, the darker the people get. God designed us in a specific way. Okay. I am white as hell. I need to be up here in the north in freezing cold weather. And I'm the white boy who be out there with shoveling in the snow with shorts and a t-shirt on.
Oh yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need cold. That's why I live in Milwaukee. I live in Wisconsin, dog. I moved to Atlanta, bro. I'm sweating all day. Hate it. In my eyes, I'm trying to film. I can't see nothing, bro. I need to be in the cold.
All right, bet. All right, next one. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I think for me, I think one of the illest superpower, like a superpower, I think like just a general power would be to slow everything down, right? Because one of my best abilities is to be able to maneuver, right? One of my worst traits, though, I got a temper and I talk too fast sometimes. And I've fucked up a lot of money in my life from speaking too soon, right? Just no wall, no nothing. I'm very blunt. Being Polish people are fucking dickheads, okay? My grandma was an asshole, very blunt, very loved you to death, but would shred you. And I'm like that. And I wish I could just freeze time and take 30 seconds to calm down and say, and in business, it's affected me in business because I'm too blunt. I'm like, bro, nah, that shit's trash. I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, reel it in, big guy, reel it in, take it easy. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people I deal with that know me and love me for that too, because I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm gonna give you my exact feeling. I'm gonna whatever. But if I could just freeze time, boy, I'd be so much, because I already know how to make moves. I know how to make plays or whatever. My biggest weakness in my life is the fact that sometimes I talk too fast without thinking. And it's what I really feel, though. You're getting the unfiltered, but not everybody's prepared for that. Some people take it highly disrespectful.
Absolutely. I feel you. I feel you. All right, last one. Now you done been around a lot of music. So what's a song to describe your life?
I know this doesn't technically apply to me in my life. I mean, I wasn't rich. We weren't poor. But Bone Thugs and Harmony, First of the Month, was and is still to this day. When I hear that record come on, I want to run a mile. I want to shoot 10 videos. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Because it was such a, like, although it was talking about, first of the month, we getting a check, whatever, it had that energy, like, you know what I'm saying? It had that, like, Kevin Gates, that two phones energy, you know what I'm saying? It's a mindset in life. Like, it's the first of the month. We got to get to it. We get the check today. Let's get out here. Let's hit the streets. And I remember when that came on, I used to watch The Box. And The Box would play videos, bro. And when First of the Month came on, bro, like, First of the Month, I'd be up. I'm geeked. Like, it was a motivational record for me. I know it's crazy because, I mean, thank God my family, we never had to be on welfare. We definitely weren't rich, but we weren't in that kind of situation. So I can't directly relate to that, the First of the Month. But at the end of the day, the energy behind that record of, like, let's get it. Let's it's day one. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? My interpretation of the energy behind that record was a little bit different, but it still basically was a motivational record for me as well. So I know that doesn't necessarily apply directly to my life, but the energy and the drive of that record definitely encaptures how I feel when I'm working.
love it, man. Well, this been a dope interview, man. I got my boy Milltown legend. Got cinematographer, music video director. Videos got over 500 million views. Got my dog, got my homie Philly Flyboy. Appreciate you pulling up to the pod, man.
Man, super appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, be legendary or be lost. Peace.
Let's get it.